Alright everyone, it is garden update time because things are still at their peak. They'll be declining within a few weeks though. September, after the first week or two, get towards a nighttime frost. Cabbages over there, still pretty good. There's still some turnips, about a dozen of them that are ready. This eggplant, despite looking amazing size-wise, I mean it should have eggplants on it, refuses to really produce anything. It's not going to do much at this point. I've been putting beans, by the way, in these empty areas. You clear other things out, you put some beans in. You're not going to get any beans off them at this point in the year, but you can definitely get nitrogen into the soil. And you can see there's cucumbers back there and stuff. The peppers and marigolds here, though, stealing the show. Look at that. Some good bell peppers in there. There's like 3 on that one. Some nice Anaheims. Huge. And these ones, the purple peppers, there's like 7 or 8 on this plant, so it's quite a bit. There's about a dozen jalapenos here. A bunch more bells. There's a couple in there that are ready. There's like 7 on that one. A few Anaheims. They don't do as well. This one plant's more spindly. It lost a lot of lower branches and got kind of leggy. There's a poblano over there that's tasty. More marigolds and cucumber. Those cucumbers are going by. I'll pull them out probably tomorrow, but there are a few small cucumbers on there. I just soaked everything, so they should be big enough. And you can see the number of tomatoes is gigantic. I can't even predict how many pounds of tomatoes. I mean, look at this. There's just like clusters and clusters, infinite handfuls of tomatoes. And this is after, you know, they're not spaced quite properly. I should not have grown this variety. I should have stuck with those that are more determinate. Then it would be healthier. There'd be more tomatoes even then. I planted them, by the way, co-planting with carrots, good idea for tomatoes. This sunflower is hunched over from its own weight. You can see there's a pole in there holding it up actually, slightly off the path, so I can sort of crawl underneath in my own fucking garden. If this were one of the big, like the mammoth varieties, I think it would have hit 12 feet, which means that if we had entered in the fair, it would have won. I think the tallest one there's like 10.5, won that one. And this is more of a hedge of Swiss chard now than a bed, I suppose. It's highly decorative. It's a nice color. I had some last night. Liz made soup actually. It was amazing. Put collards in it. Looks like we might get a few Brussels sprouts. It is producing. It's just a matter of waiting until, you know, they curl up. I don't know how they grow. I've never done it before. Put beans in here where the beets used to be. Those alyssums, they still smell nice and sweet. And they're still still growing. There's tomatoes in here. I don't know what kind they are, but they look tasty. They're definitely not cherry. They're too big. Gonna get some parsley seed, basil. By the way, when you water basil, it smells amazing. Basil, I don't know why people don't plant it as a flower as well. I ripped these out and I watered it, put beans in, some garlic around and stuff. And look, Black Prince tomatoes. That one might be a little yicky. It's got some cracking on the top. We'll see though. I did some weeding over here. These peppers are loaded too. This jalapeno plant in the middle is so heavy. It fell over actually, so I'm gonna have to harvest those. Did my best to get, you know, most of the weeds out of this general area. You can see these nice pink flowers, the phlox, all of the Nicotiana. They close up this time of day because it's too hot. Lavender, marjoram, and so forth. Weeded here a bit. I still don't know what these little trees or whatever they are. I'm gonna pull them out probably. I still gotta get back here, and this is where the poppies were. Obviously, I've gotta do some shit with that. I'll probably take everything out, including I'll transplant the gas plant. I'll probably put it over there now that I know that it likes this area back here more. I'll clear this out. I'll literally layer hay, and then I'll build a bed literally on top of it. To raise it up a few inches, it'll be actually level. But I weeded here, more or less. There's still some chamomile with some blossoms, so I left that, but for the most part, you know, just emptied it out. This area, I'm not going to seed it with bean because there's so many chamomile seeds, I'm sure, in the dirt. That'll start coming up within a week and get a couple rainstorms, ready to go. I cleaned back here again, so this is pretty much weeded out. You can see all the perennials waiting for next year. Yeah, that nice Artemisia absinthium. Look at the chives here. Chives, chives, chives. It's bagel time in this garden. There's 9 clumps there. I'll have to subdivide them. I'll probably have a whole bed worth of chives. You get this some sort of oregano thing, or at least it was marketed as it from the store. I don't know. It smells good now. It didn't smell as good when it was younger. I think this is the kind that you want later in the year. The other kind must be the kind of oregano you get early on. Look at all Look at, I mean, the tomatoes are collapsing under their own weight even within their frames. They literally can't stand up on their own. I got so many carrots. By the way, I didn't really take a proper picture, but a huge amount of carrots, huge amount of beets too. You wouldn't have believed it. We canned up 4 quarts and would have gotten a couple more, except I ran out of brine, so we ended up boiling them. I'm sitting there, I'm eating so many beets, I was peeing pink the next morning. I don't know how healthy that is, but it felt pretty good. You can see there's still some weeds. We call this sweet and sour. Can't remember what the proper name of it is. It tastes good. It's got some sort of acid. As a kid, you're like, oh, it's sweet and sour. You nibble on it a little bit. There's some rosemary, by the way. Going back here, it's still there. I should probably clear it out real quick here. And it's still there, you know. May or may not do particularly well. It doesn't get enough sun is the problem. There's one on the other side that's a little bit bigger, I think. Got to get out some of this brush. These horseradish plants, I like having them here though. It is nice, it's nice cover. I'd like to maybe take the one out of this corner, clear it out a little bit, round it off. Yeah, people out there with their fucking ATVs. Yeah, sorry about that. Sitting here playing around in the dry dirt, you know, don't mind me. But yeah, everything's pretty happy. There's also a few peaches on the tree that are actually ready, but shh, don't tell nobody. I'm going to be harvesting those later. That's about all. Peace out.